What is up everyone, my name's Al from Games Rip. Now, can you remember when there was a bit of a period in time where there were games where they had actors in them? And what I mean is kind of like the Fifth Element game and things like that, where they kind of really put all their efforts in to getting the actual characters or the actual actors really showing up in these games. Well, today we're looking at one. It's a Bleem. That's right, we're taking a look at Apocalypse. Although Apocalypse was never an actual film like Fifth Element was, but there was a lot of games that started to do this back in the sort of late 90s. And yeah, today we're going to be looking at the Bleem of Apocalypse. Now, is it any good? To be fair, from what I can remember from playing the demo on the PlayStation 1 many years ago, it actually wasn't too bad. So, does it Bleem well? Is the game any good? Or for you guys who've never actually seen it, can I make it look any good? Let's try. So here we go, this is it. This is Apocalypse, the PS1 game Bleemed to play on the PlayStation... No. Bleemed to play on the Sega Dreamcast. Now the version we're looking at is a French version of the game. Now obviously this is because Shindogu is actually French, so that explains the reason for the language on here. Now, I'm not sure it could be changed. I did have a look in the settings, but I couldn't see how to change it, so we've left it as French. Doesn't make a huge difference. The only thing is, you won't get to hear Bruce Willis's voice, or a copy of his voice, done in English language, if that makes sense. But for the purpose of this review and look at the Bleem, it doesn't massively matter too much. You can hear the actor's voice is on here, but yeah, it doesn't quite represent actually Bruce Willis himself. So this is it. This is Apocalypse. And I'm going to give you a quick rundown of what the actual game is, or the actual plot. And basically, there's an evil scientist who's created essentially a powerful horseman of the apocalypse, yeah, in order to basically destroy everyone. That's basically, that's basically the storyline for most weird, sciencey sort of, films. Although this feels like a film, but in game form, if that makes sense. This basically feels like a Bruce Willis action film, sci-fi action film, that had the budget of a big movie. Because let's face it, it could not have been cheap to get Bruce Willis's likeness in this game, his voice, and essentially be, a Bruce Willis film in game form. This probably would have cost a lot. It was obviously developed by Neversoft and published by Activision. So yeah, I think this was probably quite a big budget game for the PS1. And to be fair, it's a really decent game. I only ever played the demo back in the day on the PlayStation 1 and never actually played or even had the full version, obviously until now. And I got to tell you, one hell of a game. It's kind of like a multi-directional platformer, action platformer, if that makes sense. So you use your kind of your color buttons to essentially your firing directions. Then you use the shoulder buttons for open, etc., and jump, and obviously the D-pad for directional. So yeah, controls are pretty simple, and that's kind of the way I like it with this one. Now obviously I think if you did have extra shoulder buttons, that would allow you to change or use different items, but hey, doesn't stop us from actually playing the game. Now, you're probably asking me, from what you've seen so far, is it a decent Bleem? Yeah, to be fair, a pretty decent Bleem. I think we're pretty much almost there with how this Bleems. I mean, the sound is pretty decent. The soundtrack's there fully, in fact. The only issue is there's a couple sound effects that they don't skip, but they're kind of sped up slightly. But as you can see, a pretty decent all-round Bleem. It's missing a few textures, sort of gunfire textures, etc. But that doesn't stop us playing this game and enjoying this game, and one hell of a game it is. And obviously this was requested by one of my viewers, and I thought, I'd check it out, because it's a game I haven't checked out for a very, very long time, and very glad I did. So what I'd say is 110% get out there and find the PS1 version, get the Beta Bleem disc, and crack on and play it on your Sega Dreamcast, because like I said, very, very much playable in this state. Yeah, VMU won't work, so maybe you just want to play it on the PlayStation 1. Nah, get it on the Sega Dreamcast. Anyway, I've been Al from Games Re-Up. Like, comment and subscribe. Hope you've enjoyed this Bleem. I'll see you all soon. You can now support the channel on patreon.com/GamesRep, as well as remember to like, comment and subscribe.